Happy Sunday, everyone, and welcome to this 28th day of July, 2024. I'm Reverend Chuck, and today's message is about a cornerstone to spiritual abundance in our lives. And as we do each Sunday, we honor that presence of God as we best understand that presence in our life and in our affairs as we pray the Charles Fillmore prayer, in the presence. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I acknowledge your presence and power, O blessed Spirit, in your divine wisdom. Now erase my mortal limitations, and from your pure substance of love, bring into manifestation my world according to your perfect law. And so it is. Well, friends, what comes to mind when you hear the word of abundance? The root word of abundance comes from the Latin meaning abundate, meaning fullness or plenty. And for many people, having abundance in their lives meaning having plenty of money. But it's a lot more than that. It's about all the good things in life that we could have if we choose to abide by the spiritual aspects and essence of what abundance really means. How many times have we heard stories of people and winning the lottery or coming into large sums of money only to lose it, which puts them back into their old mindset of never having enough? And then there are people that also have an abundance of friends. How many individuals have you known to do that? That they just surround themselves with as many people as they can. But that type of energy is a major drain on a person's psyche, not alone scheduling events. And what about gift giving? And now there's nothing wrong with having money or having friends or any of the other things that we would desire in our lives. It's how we do it. Is it based, and that's the question, is it based on material possessions or the actual spiritual meaning of abundance? Of acquiring that spiritual nature behind what we desire. As Jesus taught, it'll be given as you give. And as you give, so you will receive. For me, that's the basic mindset that creates our manifested experiences that correspond with how we perceive abundance in our life. All based upon an attitude and intention that we give it. As you give, so you receive is a basic concept that is a cornerstone, if you will, of experience in abundance mindset that mirrors the spiritual applications of being fulfilled, because you will also be receiving what you give. Thus, always having more than enough to share, and as they say, keeping the cycle of abundance going. There is, however, a pitfall that we must be mindful of. And it's often overlooked by some because they feel that they're entitled to an equal or even greater compensation from that which they gave. So they're looking for something bigger. This is not spiritual abundance. It is a materialistic mindset about abundance based upon wants and needs, instead of the mindset of God will supply. God, as the universal life force, knows the needs and will supply us. And sometimes something better will be supplied. So, how can we create that mindset of abundance based upon Jesus' teachings? Well, Dr. Linda Harper, she's a PhD, in her book, she wrote, Give Your Heart's Content Without Giving Yourself Away, provides 10 keys to changing attitudes, if you will, changing the intention around that act of giving, whatever it is we're going to give, whether it's money, gifts, love, comfort, support, whatever it is. She explains by explaining the pitfalls of the materialistic mindset, always giving to get something back. She writes, and I quote, The soulful giver has no prerequisites or expectations of getting something back in return. However, we live in a society of deal making where rewards and benefits are continually used to motivate people. The condition this conditions us equally. This conditions us to expect equality and fairness in our giving. When we give a gift, we may consciously or unconsciously be thinking about keeping things even. This is a setup for disappointment. When we give a gift, expecting something of equal value in return, we are left waiting for some form of repayment. And when we don't get what we think we deserve, we feel we have been robbed of what we expected is ours by divine right of giving. That is not true giving, friends. And so she gives us 10 keys on how we can open our mindset to the spiritual aspect of abundance in our lives. And it doesn't matter what you are giving, as I said before, it's not always about the money. It's about an attitude of mind. It's about the intention by which you give. Is it from the heart? Is it heart-centered? Or is it based on materialistic wants and needs? Well, number one, she writes, is give yourself some unearned gifts. Some of us are real great gifters, but we fail to give the greatest gift, and that's the gift to ourselves, whatever it might be. A positive statement or affirmation each morning about the blessings in your life can go a long way in changing that mindset, that activity in your life. Remember, as they say, if you don't give to yourself, then how can you expect to be giving to others as well? You have to take care of you in order for you to be a good gift giver. Number two is about a random act of kindness. Do an act of kindness where there is no possibility of getting anything in return. You just do it for the sake of doing it. How many times have we seen those little reels on Facebook or YouTube where people are out there just giving for the sake of giving? Giving for the sake of giving, a random act of kindness. Because, see, you will get returned, but not the way that person is going to be able to do it for you. It'll come to you in another form. 3, accept the gift. Accept a gift that you won't reciprocate evenly. And sometimes that happens. We'll receive a gift that is worth much more than we could possibly give in return. So accept it with attitude of thanksgiving and enjoy it without feeling guilty. And that's one of those keys, feeling guilty or being anxious about being able to do it in return, or as they say, upmanship, give them one better. You got to watch those. That's one of those pitfalls that can really turn us around sometimes. And 4, ask for a favor without concern of being able to return it. And many people, they have a hard time asking for favors, asking for help. And, they just go ahead and do it for themselves because they don't want to feel reluctant that they owe this person of something in like kind. So it's okay to ask for a favor, and if you can't return that exact favor, something else will pop up. So be easy on yourself with that. 5, give forgiveness to a loved one or friend. Major, major, major aspect of these 10 keys. When you wait for others to atone for their actions, for whatever the case may be, chances are you won't get it from them. But if you go ahead and do it and give that out, put that into the universe, then anytime that there is a situation where you would desire some type of forgiveness, it'll be there for you. 6, possibly give more if you can. My mother worked in the restaurant industry for many, many years. She was a waitress. And when I was growing up, I started off as a dishwasher, then a busboy, and then finally a waiter. And so whenever I'm in a restaurant, I know what it's like. There's kitchen staff, and then there's front staff, the waiters and the waitresses and all the intricacies that go along with providing service in that type of environment, I always give more. Always give more in my tips because I know what it takes. And I've never been disappointed, ever. 7, practice giving and receiving without concern of trying to divide all things equally. You give up that practice of trying to make every gift of equal value or division. It doesn't work in the long run, and it will run you ragged and just make a mess of things. So try to give without trying to divide equally. You can't do it. And then 8, look for things to give differently. Sometimes life just happens and you find yourself unable to give as you'd like. So don't sweat it. Use it as an opportunity to create a new way to give, something different, in type of a service or a letter or support. And if you do have some money that you can possibly give to an organization, do that. Find different ways in which you can help. 9, give yourself permission to indulge in the pleasure of unexpected gifts. That is when you get something and you weren't expecting it at all, and all of a sudden it's there. Take this opportunity to enjoy it, because whatever puts a smile on your face opens your heart. And that open heart is a gift worth receiving for yourself. And then you can always, as they say, pay forward. You can always do that. And finally, number 10, give with an understanding that gifts do not have to meet others' expectations of what is fair. We spend a lot of time and energy in trying to make the act of giving look and feel fair to everybody concerned. And this happens a lot in families, especially when you have multiple siblings. Oh gosh. Well, I never did that with my kids growing up. They were each valued for their own uniqueness. And I didn't raise them to look at life as being equally fair on all parts, because that does them a disservice. And they are strong individuals now because of it. So try to break that type of habit. So by practicing these 10 steps, we discover that there are 4 cornerstones, and they are: unconditional giving is unlimited and frees you from being dependent on a person or event or experiences so that you can express and feel those blessings. 2, with less of your time and energy being focused on the logistics of gift giving, you have an opportunity to live life more freely. 3, with no exceptions, you find yourself being pleasantly surprised how the universe brings you something better. And finally, 4, you find that your attitude and intention around the act of gift giving is changing, allowing you to find ways to receive and give as you strive to create a consciousness of financial freedom in your life and affairs through the action of spiritual abundance. Well, friends, I want to thank all of you who join me each Sunday here on YouTube at Unity of Kern County, and of course Facebook. And for those that have shared their monetary gifts, so I can keep bringing these messages to you on a weekly basis. And if you liked what you heard and you are listening for the first time, please subscribe so you can be made aware of the next message that comes your way. So until we meet again, remember, dear friends, to be good to yourself and others. God bless.